Over at DC Comics, the publisher has been on a little bit of a horror kick with their big landmark comic book crossover events. In fact, we just saw the conclusion of the epic story Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, written by Joshua Williamson, featuring art from Daniel Sampier. And last week at the Comics Pro event, DC announced a brand new comic book event coming this summer called Night Terrors, featuring a mini series from the same writer of Joshua Williamson, along with artwork from Howard Porter and Guillaume March. My name is Arco Braddock, and let's go ahead and take a look into DC's Night Terrors story. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button on the video if you enjoy our content. And next up, I want to kick things off by showing off DC's logo for the Night Terrors event. Here's a look at kind of the spooky logo that they're introducing, this huge comic book crossover with. Essentially, this is a story following Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman as they head into the realm of nightmares, and also features some unconventional DC Comics characters, as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are teaming up with people like Deadman, aka Boston Brand. And I wanted to include this quote over from DC where writer Joshua Williamson explains a little bit more about the Night Terrors event. I love horror comics, and it's been a blast bringing the energy to Dawn of DC. Night Terrors showcases the horror side of our heroes as a brand new villain confronts them in their worst nightmares, says Williamson. It's a fun and horrific event that brings together all of the heroes and villains of DC along with some surprises. And plus, this isn't the only aspect of DC's Night Terrors event. In July and August, we're also going to be treated to several two-issue miniseries that have creative teams yet to be revealed for the various stories that also tie in to the Night Terror story. DC also showed off some artwork for Night Terrors. This artwork is over from Francesco Mattina and features a look at Batman and maybe some of his nightmares. Here's a look at the cover over from Francesco Mattina for Superman, which is also a really intriguing and horrific look at what the Man of Steel's nightmares look like. Also, over in the month of May, we're going to be treated to a special free comic book day issue of DC's Night Terror storyline. And here's a look at the cover over for the free comic book day Night Terrors issue over from Jason Fabok, teasing a little bit of the DC Comics characters who might be a part of this event storyline. And plus, one of the aspects of this free comic book day issue that's going to be really enticing to read is that Chris Bachalo, the very expressive artist who has contributed past work to both Marvel and DC, is returning to DC over for this epic storyline. And really, I think you should be excited about this Night Terrors crossover event due to the creative team on this series. Joshua Williamson has written so many interesting, dark horror themed stories like what we saw over in the pages of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. Guillaume March really shook things up over in the Joker series with such kind of pained facial expressions. Howard Porter has done phenomenal work over in The Flash and gives such kind of decisive expressions over to the characters in these series. It just seems like there's a lot of reasons to be excited about this upcoming crossover over from DC. And plus, I really like the fact that it's sort of implemented across several titles in DC's line, and it will be affecting various characters. So in addition to the main Night Terrors miniseries, we're also getting some ancillary miniseries that flesh out other aspects about the event. Plus, DC announced a really kind of interesting free comic book day issue. Let's take one more look at the cover. And we're kind of being teased that this issue sort of brings, Bruce Wayne's biological son Damian into the realm of nightmares to be haunted by some dreams of his very own. So that's just a quick look over at DC's Night Terrors event. The event is kind of kicking off with a look at the free comic book day issue over in May, and the series kind of kicks off in earnest over in the months of July and August. Due to the fact that DC has such a kind of seasoned creative team on this crossover, I'm really excited to jump in and check it out. But I want to know from you, what are your thoughts over on Night Terrors? Do you think this is really going to be an epic story kind of following in the footsteps of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and we'll be back really soon for more excellent DC comics. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon. Bye.